Hello, everyone. I am honored to have the chance to speak at 44th International Conference on Software Engineering and Software Engineering in Practice Track. My name is Mohammad Wasim and I am from Wuhan University, Wuhan, China. I would like to present the result of our latest work on decision models for selecting patterns and strategies in microservices systems and their evaluation by practitioners. Uh, First of all, I will introduce what is microservices, motivation for this work, what research method we have used, and then I will present the proposed decision models and their evaluation. And finally, I will conclude our work and I will also indicate the research future work. So regarding microservices, the software industry has recently witnessed a growing popularity of microservices architecture styles as a promising design approach to develop applications that consist of small, multiple, manageable, and independently deployable services. Basically, microservices allows building a complex application as a set of modular component or services. These systems entail a significant degree of complexity at the design phase and runtime configuration from an architectural perspective. Moreover, microservices style brings unique challenges for software organization, and many quality attributes may be positively and negatively influenced. So we found that both academia and industry have presented a reusable solution for different kind of microservices problem and challenges, those called pattern and strategies. Pattern and strategies basically distributed across different publications. For example, you can find in a scientific literature and also in a gray literature. And practitioner, if want to use, they need to navigate pattern to patterns and strategies until a suitable combination of patterns and strategy that can address the challenges is found. According to several recent studies, most of the design, development, monitoring, and testing challenges are raised when application is decomposed into microservices. So basically, it depends on how you are decomposing your application into microservices. To this end, we propose the decision model that cover four microservices design areas like application decomposition into microservices, microservices security, microservices communication, and service discovery. Okay, now I will briefly introduce research method that we have used for this study. Actually, our research method consists of several steps. For example, in first step, we identify the MSA pattern and strategies from published studies and gray literature review, and then we design and we create the decision models by using the BPMN modeling notations, and after that we evaluate our proposed decision model by taking the in-depth interviews from the industrial practitioners. So these are the three steps that basically we have. These are the three phases that basically we had used for conducting these studies. Now we will, before going on a proposed decision models, and I will briefly introduce the gateways and the different flow that we have used in our study. For example, we use the different gateway like inclusive, exclusive, and parallel gateway, and we also use the positive and negative sign with the quality attributes. So you may see here. And similarly, we use the different shapes for presenting the constraints, pattern, and strategies, as well as this is the type of decision model. Here is the generic flow of our decision model, or you may say this is the meta model of our decision model. In this meta model, basically we start the process with this sign, and this inclusive gateway trigger the multiple flows or multiple conditions from this gate to the another pattern or this gate to the another decision model. And similarly, the parallel gateway trigger the all conditions that are going to mean we can choose or select the multiple pattern and strategies for using or for addressing some problem. And similarly, this exclusive gateway is used to represent the single strategy for it's used for one patron at a time. So here is our first decision model that is we have proposed for application decomposition model. In this model, we identified we use the several pattern for depicting the flow of this decision model. For example, if someone want to achieve the goal with availability, scalability, and these pattern, and they have a team of 5 to 9 people, so we have a several pattern that can be used for application decomposition. Such as decomposed by subdomain, service per team, decomposed by business capability, and decomposed by transaction, as well as for scenario-based analysis. We also use the exclusive gateway. So it means we can use the single outcome at a time. And we also represented the different kind of impact on these quality attribute, like if someone using the decomposed by subdomain, they have they also have some conditions, and with these pattern they can achieve the several quality attribute, and this pattern sorry have a several uh, uh, have a positive impact on a several quality attribute. And similarly, service per team. So if someone want to use the service per team, then we can see that there is a constraint one service per team. It means no one can define the more than assign the services to more than one team. And maybe we can see the some sort of the negative impact here, like the flexibility or maybe the cost have some negative impact when we have only one server per team. We also provide the brief summary here of each pattern. The next pattern that we have proposed is about microservices security decisions. We found the several pattern in literature as well as in a grad literature that can be classified according to application level security, communication level security, and code level security. Similarly, as an example, for example, if someone want to propose, want to get the security and application level, and they can use at least these two patterns, and like access and identify token and lead defense token. So each token have also some sort of the constraints and also some sort of the conditions. And we also depicted the different kind of impact that practitioner may get after applying these patterns. The third pattern. Okay, now I will present the decision model for microservices communication. We found the three type of condition that can be applied this pattern. For example, client interaction with microservices, interaction between microservices, and the communication between microservices developed in different programming languages. Will try to explain one by one. So for example, client interaction with microservices, we can use the API gateway, backend for front end, aggregated microservices and proxy microservices pattern. When different kind of clients are communicating with the interaction with the microservices system. And similarly, if microservices want to communicate and have to communicate in the microservices, that time we can use these pattern like remote procedure invocation, publish subscribe messaging, publish asynchronous messaging, and asynchronous messaging, and similarly asynchronous request reply, synchronous messaging, and adaptive microservices, etc. So the third condition that we found that is about the anti-corruption layers, and this pattern can be used when different kind of microservices which are specifically designed or developed in different programming languages can be used. Final decision model that we have proposed is about service discovery. We found that first service need to register and then service can be found by using another service. So for the registration service, we have a service self-registration and third-party registration pattern. And for the service discovery, we have the client-side discovery, microservice chassis, and service discovery, service-side discovery. So these all patterns basically are using the service registry, and this is the main core where first we need to register the service, and then the services are can be discovered by using any of this pattern. And we also again we also identify some other conditions and the impact on the different kind of quality attributes. To evaluate the decision models, we conducted 24 semi-structured interviews with the questionnaires. The key result of the evaluation are presented in these figures. For example, the 24 interviews come from 24 IT companies from 12 countries. The role of the participants are mainly related to design and development of microservices system, such as application developer, architect and application developer, and software engineers. 11 interviews have 2 to 3 years of experience. 8 interviews have a 4 to 5 years of experience. 4 interviews have 1 year of experience, and only one interview have more than 6 years of experience working with microservices system. The domain of organization are mainly related to e-commerce, healthcare, financial services, and tourism. So we ask a different question about the decision model. For example, we ask a question about the familiarity with patterns and strategies for each model. Like we asked interviews, are you familiar with the patterns and strategies used to propose the decision model? The majority of interviews mention that they are familiar with the most of patterns and strategies used to propose the decision model. For instance, 11 out of 24 interviews mentioned that they are familiar to most of the application decomposition pattern and strategies, and 14 interviews mentioned that they are familiar to most of the security patterns and strategies. Only 2 interviews mentioned that they are not familiar with security pattern and strategies. Regarding understandability and correctness of decision model, we also asked another question. The question was regarding what decision model are easy to understand and use. So we got these results. The interviews show that most of the models are easy to understand and easy to follow because of the self-exploratory flow. For example, we show in a different figures. For example, 17 interviews responded that uh, 17 interview responded that for example, 17 interviews responded that in security decision model is easy to understand and use. Regarding the completeness of decision model, we asked another question in which we are mainly explore, does the information in this decision model sufficiently support making decision about application decomposition, security communication, and service discovery? So we asked about all the decision model. The interviews responded that most of the models are complete and sufficiently support decision making. For example, you can see that 17 out of interviews responded that the application decomposition model uh, uh, have a sufficient information. Similarly, we also ask about the usefulness. So the usefulness, we ask the question, uh, are the decision models useful to support making decision model in design and development of microservices system? All the interviews mentioned that every decision model sufficiently support the corresponding design area. Okay, now I will present the conclusion of this study, and I also present the future research work that we are intended to plan. This research presents decision models that leverage pattern strategies and quality attributes for rationalizing design knowledge to assess architecture and developer and engineering microservices system. The decision model have been identified by systematically reviewing multivocal literature that advocate the role of patterns, architectural strategies, And quality attribute to support decomposition, security, communication, and service discovery aspect of software system. To validate the decision model, we engaged a total of 24 microservices practitioners to evaluate familiarity, understandability, completeness, and usefulness of the decision model. From the practitioner perspective, the proposed decision model, their underlying patterns and strategies can empower microservices architect and developer to exploit reusable knowledge and recurring practices for architecture-centric development of microservices system. As a future research work, we will focus on extending the proposed decision model by establishing a decision model repository, exploring the possible combination of pattern and strategies, and validating the models through an industrial scale case study, and developing a recommendation system that supports automation and human decision and selecting the most appropriate patterns and the strategies while analyzing their impact on quality attributes. Now I will finish my presentation. If you guys have any question, you may ask in live session. Thank you so much.